It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. Today we have some special guests from Helping Hands Humane Society, Emi and Margaret. How are you guys this morning?
Fantastic.
Doing great.
And I almost forgot April. April is here because I have not had a lot of sleep, so she's going to help me.
Keeping you awake.
Yeah, she's going to help me do this. So let's talk about adoptions. I know you guys have got some great specials going on this month, so let's talk about what you got going on.
Yes, we do. So for the month of June, we have a summer pit stop adoption special, which means any pit bull mix, which could be a puppy to any age of a dog, is only $75 to adopt, which is a really great fee considering that includes their sterilization, microchip, initial vaccinations. They go home with a sample size bag of food. So that is a really cool special that's going on. We found homes for several of our pit bull mixes, but we still have plenty more looking for homes through the end of the month. Then we also have a cat adoption special because it is Adopt a Shelter Cat Month in June. And all cats and kittens are only $25 to adopt. And they have been flying out the door, but they're also flying in the door. So we have lots and lots of cats for people to take home.
They reproduce at pretty rapid speeds.
They do.
So whenever it comes to adopting, I know, like, for instance, I have a dog named Zeus. And if you follow me on Facebook, you know, Zeus is a little bit crazy. He's incredibly intelligent, but he's also a huge airhead. I mean, he takes some of the funniest photos. How do you mix those dogs? Like, say we wanted to adopt a dog. Could we bring in Zeus and have him meet a dog?
Yes, so we usually encourage that. Typically, we ask the family to come in first without your dog just so that you can meet some of the potential candidates and narrow it down to who you really like, and then make an appointment to bring your dog in to meet them. And our adoption counselors, if they know you have a dog at home, they're going to be looking at the dogs at the shelter who like other dogs and are social with other dogs.
Okay, and does it matter? Do you have requirements of the homeowners? How does that work?
We don't have specific requirements in general. It really depends on what pet you're looking at. So if you live in an apartment, you could look at a cat or a dog that we think would be an appropriate apartment dog. And of course, we would have to check to see if there are any weight limits or other restrictions in your apartment complex, because we don't want to adopt an animal out to you and then you have to bring them back because it doesn't fit within that. So we're just going to check on what's going on based on the animal, their needs, and what maybe requirements you have at home.
Gotcha. So I know it's like so hot right now. Mm-hmm. What would you say to people that have pets? What should they do and not do for their animals?
I'm going to pass it over to Margaret because she's the expert.
With hot weather, the biggest thing I would say is this is not the time of year to take Rover for a car ride, okay? I know a lot of people like taking them when they run errands and things, but if you're going to run even into a bank and you think it's going to take a few seconds, sometimes something can happen and make it even longer, and that temperature doubles and gets higher just by every second that they're in the car. Even if you put water in there and roll down the windows a little bit, it's still going to get extremely hot in the car. So leave your dogs at home during this time. The second thing is I always say if you have a dog outside and it's getting really hot during the day, if all possible, bring them in the house. You can use a crate or a small room or something like that to where they can have the cooler air. But if they have to absolutely stay outside, a couple of things that I do recommend is, one is get a little kiddie swimming pool. Let them play in the water and cool themselves off. And they're outside, so they're going to dry quickly. But it helps them keep them cool. And they just a lot of dogs absolutely love it. Make sure you have a dog house, lots of shade. The other thing I do is I take a milk jug and I'll put water in it, and then I'll put it in the freezer and then freeze it. And then I take the lid off and put it in their dog house. And as it gives them a little air conditioning in their dog house throughout the day. And so that's kind of a neat thing to do. And they might even play with it, lay next to it. But it's another great way to cool them off and things like that. The other thing to consider, too, is walking. Do it real early in the morning or real late at night, because of the heat of their pads, you can burn their pads. We use shoes, so we don't realize how hot that concrete is when you're walking your dog during the day. So they're really good ideas to do it very early in the morning or really late at night when you're comfortable. So those are the kinds of things, for hot weather that they really need to consider.
When it comes to this time of the year, we're also talking about fireworks.
Oh, boy.
What do you do to keep the poor little guys from freaking out?
It's slowly getting better. I mean, years and years ago, we had lots of animals that came in, and I've noticed the last couple of years it's getting better. Our numbers are getting smaller, but we're still getting quite a few. If you know your animals are afraid of thunderstorms, most likely they're going to be afraid of fireworks, especially if you just got a new animal. So you have to know if they like the fireworks. And they're going to start selling this next week, so keep an eye on your animals. But the biggest thing is keep them inside, if all possible, especially when they start setting them off. Is really important because they're going to get scared. And when they get scared, they're going to run, and you don't know where they're going to run to because they're going to be hearing them all different places. So be mindful when you're driving down the streets because kids are setting them off in the streets, and dogs and cats are going to be running through the streets. So when you're going down the streets, keep an extra eye out for them animals or kids in the street. I always say if you really have an animal that's afraid, talk to your veterinarian. A lot of times they can help you give them something to calm them down so it's not so traumatic to them. And some people will use it. There's some people who use thunder shirts that help, things like that. So when I leave at night or even during the day, I have a radio or TV on, and this time I might crank it up a little bit more to help deaden that sound of the fireworks, things like that.
So doggy Prozac, is that what you're saying?
You talk to your veterinarian. I don't know exactly what it's called, but sure. But no. But that's it. And if your dog runs away, come out and see us, please. You might call it a German Shepherd. We might call it something else. And it's just learning and things like that. So it's really important. The second you lose the animal, don't think, oh, he'll come back. I don't have to worry about it. He'll come back. A lot of times they don't come back, or someone picks them up and brings them to us. So it's just really important that you come out and see us. The very next day, we'll take you through our stray areas just to make sure that we're not back there. And that includes cats. Cats can get scared of the fireworks also and run. So kind of keep an eye, even if you lose your cat, come out and see us.
Our dogs have always been scared of him. Like I said, Zeus, he's a little bit of an airhead, but he's just like, hey, that's cool. He thinks they're great.
Mine barks.
Some like them, some don't. His first owner was military, so I don't know if that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't faze him at all. We had one wild firecracker go sideways across the front lawn, and he's just like, oh, look at that. We had a basset hound that would have absolutely had a heart attack. Just rolled over and died if he'd had that happen.
I have a new pup right now, and he does not like it when it storms in the middle of the night. He just starts barking, so he wakes up the whole house, going through the house barking at the thunder. So I can imagine what's going to be like with the fireworks.
You're not going to sleep.
I'll be ready, though.
Okay, so I know anytime you move into a neighborhood, it's not uncommon to find some strays sometimes. What happens whenever you find a stray? What would you recommend?
The biggest thing is, I think if you find a stray, the biggest thing is I always say call animal control. That's to handle. Even if you find a stray, you don't know how friendly they're going to be. I always tell people that they might seem friendly at first, but you might say something or do a gesture, something that might be something that's scary to them, and they might try to bite you. So I always say animal control is the best way to find a stray. If you're not going to call animal control, bring them to us, okay? We're open 7 days a week, 9:30 to 6 till 5 o'clock on Sundays. So we're there. Even though adoptions open up later, intake, our admissions is open up at 9:30 in the morning. I think some people get confused about that sometimes with our hours. But bring us to the stray, and we'll hold on to them and give a chance for the owner to come get them. Okay? I know some people decide to keep the strays. Call us and make a found report. So that way, if someone's lost their animal, we can match them up. And the other way, too, is there's a great Facebook page called Topeka Lost and Found, and a lot of people post on that. And so either lost or found, post on that, because there's a lot of people out there looking for your pets.
And really a good preventative is to make sure that your animal is wearing a collar with information or have them chipped.
I always say I've yet to have an animal, a dog or a cat, come in and say, my name is Parker and my phone number is 233-7325. Call my owners and tell them to come get me. Yeah. Kids can do that, but dogs and cats can't. So you're right. Until they tell me where they live and their phone number, I'm not going to know. So it's really important to have ID on them. Our return to owners on dogs is getting better every year, but our return to owners of cats is not. And that's the one thing we want people to realize. Come out and see us if you lose your cat. Even if it's an outdoor cat and you haven't seen it in like a day or two, come out and see us. So, because we only hold them on to because we have a state law, and we hold on to them 3 days after the day they come in. Mm-hmm. So
what happens to them
after that? After the 3 day strike time, they go through a health and behavior assessment. They pass a health and behavior assessment. They get sterilized, get their vaccines, and they move up to adoptions. And they stay on the adoption floor until they get adopted. If they don't pass, this is what some people wonder, if they don't pass their health or behavior assessment, we have a great group of fosters and rescue groups that we try to move them to. And a barn cat program for our cats. So we've got a very aggressive cat. So if someone's looking, that's a good point. If you're really looking for cats for your barn to help with micing and things like that, call us because we've got some cats. They're not the friendliest and they can't be indoor cats, but they can clearly live outside.
Hey, great mousers.
And great mousers. Keep down your mouse population. But we try to move them as much as possible. We've got a great shelter that helps us move when we get full. So we do everything possible to move them along,
So that whole worry of being put down, that's not a big concern, right?
It's gotten a lot better especially since we moved into the new building. It has gotten a lot better. I cannot give anybody, I'm always honest, I can't give anybody 100% guarantee, but we do everything possible to move them to shelters and rescues. I mean, their health has to be pretty bad, or their behavior has to be pretty bad, because we also work with them. If they don't pass their behavior assessment, it's not automatically euthanized. What we do is we put in a program where we have several staff members who work with them for a week or 2 weeks to see if their behaviors improve. And we have found out a lot of the behaviors improved, and we're able to move them to up for adoption, or we've improved their behavior that we can move them to a rescue group to finish working with their behaviors. So again, we try everything possible. We've been putting in some programs, play groups to help with the shy dogs with other dogs to help them get adopted.
Let's talk a little bit more about the rescue groups. So are they around the area, or
they can be? They can be around here, or they can be up in Colorado. They can be in Missouri, Nebraska. So we have an employee, Michelle, who does an awesome job. She's got lots of contacts. So it can be mixed breeds and it can be purebreds. So it's not just purebreds that we move to rescue. Now, a lot of rescues are purebreds, but there are a few rescues who will take mixes too. And then we also work with certain shelters. So if we get full, we'll call them and say, hey, can we move a few here to you? And if they've got room, we move them.
You've been listening to Real Estate 101. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish.
And we're back. You're listening to Real Estate 101. I'm Karey Brown, broker-owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, please give us a call. Our number is 785-213-5188. You can follow us online. Our website actually gives you every listing from Missouri, parts of Missouri, anything that's on the Kansas City MLS, clear over to western Kansas, out Junction City, and a little further. And as far south of as Emporia, and as far north as Netawaka. So you get everything that you can possibly think of out there. We actually give you more than even Zillow. So check it out at TopekaHomeAdvisors.com. And you can save your searches, so you can be looking, and every day you can find, it'll notify you of new things that have come on the market. So you're not having to surf all those different websites. And if you would like to have a buyer consultation or a seller's consultation, again, please give us a call at 785-213-5188 or shoot us an email at preferredadvisorsteam@gmail.com. And if you are wanting to get a hold of Helping Hands Humane Society, they're located at 5720 Southwest 21st Street in Topeka. New building, not exactly new anymore, but
It still feels like it, but it's been a few years now.
it is a great building. And their phone number is 785-233-7325. Their website is HHHS.Topeka.org. And you can also follow them on Facebook by looking up Helping Hands Humane Society.
Yep.
For that matter, you could follow us on Facebook by looking up Realty Executives Preferred Advisors Team. So let's start talking about volunteering. I know I probably should not ever volunteer at Helping Hands Humane Society because I'll come home and be like the dog lady.
And that's what people say, but I can attest as a staff member who started as a volunteer, you do have that urge to take everybody home, but the longer you volunteer, you see them going to great homes, and it makes you feel good about not taking them all home with you, but coming in to help them.
So when it comes to volunteering, how do they go about becoming a volunteer?
So if you're able to get on the web, there's a whole page on our website called How to Become a Volunteer, and you'll fill out an online application and then get signed up for an orientation, which we do at least twice every single month. So we're always welcoming new volunteers, and those orientations are usually pretty full, which is great. And then we will introduce you to the process. There's a little bit of training that takes place since we're dealing with live animals, but we'll be happy to get you down that road for whatever volunteer activities you're interested in. And you only have to be 10 or older to volunteer. We do ask that an adult always be with anyone who's 10 to 15, but we have lots of young kids who are super excited and drag their parents or grandparents in to volunteer with them. Then once you're 16, you can actually start volunteering on your own.
Let's talk about what a volunteer does when they are there.
So our volunteers do a whole wide range of activities, from running with the dogs to exercise them to helping in the medical center and intake, adoptions. But I would say the vast majority of volunteers, the main thing they do is somehow related to socializing or providing enrichment for the animals. And they do a lot of offsite events. If you've seen our mobile adoption unit out, we take volunteers to help handle all of the animals and help find them homes.
So that's volunteering. What about jobs? Do you have any job openings right now that you'd like to let people know about?
Yeah, right now we are looking for a kennel technician to help in the medical center, which is helping to feed, water, clean kennels, and really care for the animals, as well as a part-time position as an adoption counselor, so helping those families finding pets. And that does require weekends because that's when we are the busiest. And those are both positions that I believe you only have to have a high school degree to qualify for. And there is a page on our website for job opportunities too.
Okay, and you guys do have training classes, correct?
Yeah. Yes, we have training classes for the public. I also do agility classes, which is a lot of fun. But we do offer training classes. They can call the shelter or get on our website again and find training, and they can sign up for that. We offer for the public. It's not an animal that if you didn't adopt it from the shelter, you can do pet. We got from somewhere else, so you can come join us on that. We offer them weeknights and on Saturdays. Well, two great trainers who do a really good job. And it's mostly just to help you keep the family pet. I mean, they'll help you with behavior issues, things like that, help them get along with other dogs, people. They also give classes to help prepare them to be a CGC, which is Canine Good Citizen. It just says that your dog is just a great citizen to be out in the public and things like that. And then Monday nights we offer agility classes. And it's an indoor. It's a full agility course. We have an agility trainer that shows her own dogs professionally. She just went to national championships just a couple months ago, Lynn, and it's a lot of fun. So if you got a real energetic dog and you think they'll like it, just come out and just take a class, sign up for a class. You'll be amazed at how much they really do like it. It's great exercise for you as well as for your dog because you'll be running with your dog. So if you want some exercise, fun exercise, that's a great way to do it, is take an agility class. And she takes from little dogs to big dogs. I know I've seen a mastiff do agility, so it doesn't matter the breed. It just matters what the dog would like to do.
Does it matter how agile the owner is?
No. You might go a little slower, but that's okay. I do agility, and sometimes mine are ahead of me, but I do catch up. There's a way to cut across. But
There's a way to cheat the course.
And I have a Pomeranian. I think we're about the same speed. And the new pup, though, he's a lot faster. So sometimes I have someone else run him, or I'll just have to catch up to him. But it is a lot of fun. I mean, it's just it's a new thing to do with your pet. I always say is if you want to keep I always say a good rounded pet is a great socialized pet that does different things. And you do things with your pet, because when your pet is bored, you lose your remote control. You lose your shoes. Mine took siding off my house. I mean, and they're not bad dogs, but that's why we get them. But they're not bad dogs. What they're trying to say is, I'm bored. I need something to do. So when you think about getting a pet, think about your lifestyle. Are you going to be busy all the time? Are you going to be going places? Do you have kids and you're constantly going to sports? Are you constantly doing the concerts? Then a big active dog is not a dog for you, like a border collie or an Aussie. You want a dog that, it's going to be fairly lazy and, a few walks here and there. But if you like to take walks and you like to be active and go hiking, then, an active dog would be great for you. So always think about that. Do your research. And we got a great variety of dogs out there, from purebreds to mixed breeds, that make great family pets. And our adoption counselors know them, and they can help match it up for you. But you need to exercise your animals. I always say a tired dog is a good dog.
I know when we got our dog, he actually was taught 4 different languages. And I kept wondering every time I fed him, whenever I said, Zeus, eat, he looked at me like, that's not what you're supposed to say.
That's right.
So I finally got a hold of the former owner, and she said, oh, he likes German. And I was like, well, that would have been good information to know. So whenever I finally said it in German, he looked at me and started spinning around, and he was like, oh, yay, my stupid owner finally knows how to talk to me. It was the best day ever. He's so funny.
And you learned a language.
I did. Yeah. We did have to post it on the fridge. So now he does understand English. He's been able to figure that out. But he'll look at you like, okay, it's time for me to eat. So it is really great whenever you do take the time to really train them. Like with him, he was the first dog we ever had that knew how to shake your hand or speak to you, which he's a husky and they like to talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you can get that dog to say anything if you've got the right food.
Great.
So,
they can be very treat motivated, or even an animal that's not very treat motivated. They just want your attention, And I always say when you get a new animal, the best thing to do is they might do things that you might think funny at first, but think down the road, is it going to be funny later? And if it's not, put it into place. Put it into place now. Start that structure. Start what you want them to do and not to do when the first day that they come home. That's really, really important. Dogs love structure, and dogs love to learn. And they just, granted, not all of them. My little Pom, he just wants to be a lap dog. But the new pup, who's active, knows so many commands and continues to learn more and more. So it depends on the dog, but always try those still and keep socializing them.
Let's talk a little bit more about fostering. What goes into that?
Fostering is a program that really helps us out. Right now, I think we have like a little over 100 animals in foster care, and about 80% of them are kittens. And so this is the biggest need right now, is the kittens. This is our kitten season. But fostering is kittens or puppies who come in are not ready to be adopted, or an injured animal that needs to recuperate. A shelter is not the great place to do it. Or an animal that needs to be socialized because they're a little scared. And what we do is we find foster homes, and what they do is they attend a meeting, learn all about the foster care program. We give them the good and the bad so that they know if it's right. You can own your own animals. You can have your own animals too. And after orientation, we do a home visit, and it's not to see how clean your house is or anything like that. It's just see where you're going to house them to make sure it's just a safe place. And then you just start fostering. You take the animals home. We let you know what we have. Take them home, and if it's right now kittens that need to be 2 pounds to be adopted, you raise them until they're 2 pounds, and you bring them back, and we put them up for adoption. We provide all the supplies. Whatever you need, if you need it, if we have it, we give it to you. We provide all the vet care for the foster animals. So if something happens, we can get the vet to take a look at them. You just provide the love and the home for them. And it's a great way. Now, again, like you said earlier about volunteering, I don't think I can volunteer because I'll take everything home. And I have people thinking, I don't think I can foster because I think I will just keep them all. You might adopt one or two, but believe me, I probably have done over 150, and I've only adopted 6.
Only 6.
Only 6, but look, but you know what your limits are. I'm not going to say you're never going to fall in love, and you're never going to fall. But when you have a litter of kittens, you know you can't adopt all those kittens. You know, if you have a litter of puppies, you're ready to give them back at 2 months and say, okay, here you go.
They're all yours.
They're all yours. But it's a great way. The more fosters we have, the more lives we can save. And that's what's really important, because that's our mission, is to save as many lives as we can.
And you mentioned the supplies. Let's talk about funds for that and donations. How can the community help you with that?
Donations are always welcome, whether they're monetary donations by participating in our fundraisers or just coming out to an event and dropping a couple dollars in the donation box. But we also have a wish list of actual items you can donate to us. So maybe on your weekly shopping trip, you decide you're going to pick up one extra thing for Helping Hands while you're there, whether that's a bag of cat litter, which is one of the things that we always need. That's a never-ending need because of all the kittens Margaret just mentioned that are in foster care. And in the offices, we tend to keep kittens as well because there's just so many of them. So we can use a lot of litter. Potty pads for puppies are another big thing for our fosters that we'll need. Laundry detergent, high efficiency, is a huge thing at the shelter. Every day we're doing tons and tons of laundry because every day we make sure to clean all of the bedding, all of the towels, anything the medical center has to use. And there's an entire actual list on our website if you want to check out the wish list, and it ranges from toys and treats to cleaning supplies, just everything that we might need at the shelter. And any donation that you make is helping us out because then we don't have to spend money to buy those things.
And you guys have some new t-shirts in too, right?
We do. So we also have a gift shop that does provide a little bit of revenue for us. If people are able to come in and buy supplies for your pets or for yourself, you can feel good knowing that part of that's going back to help homeless animals. And we have some brand new, fun, brightly colored t-shirts that have our logo on them and a little outline of a dog and a cat that are only $11 each. So you might stop by and grab one of those before they're gone. And every Wednesday on Facebook, we will post a wish list Wednesday item that we're really in need of at that time.
All right. So, and how to find them? Again, they're located at 5720 Southwest 21st Street in Topeka. They do also still have, for the rest of the month of June, pit bulls that are up for adoption for $75, and all cats and kittens are at $25. So if you're looking to adopt those, definitely go out and take care of that. You can find them at HHHSTopeka.org. Their phone number is 785-233-7325. And if you're looking to buy or sell a house, be sure and check out our website at TopekaHomeAdvisors.com. You can email us at preferredadvisorsteam@gmail.com, and our phone number is 785-213-5188. Thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.